and we are continuing with the discussion on quantitative aptitude and DI section. And today I've taken up. Some of you had requested me last time to actually do a session on the quants part of on the DI part of this. So I'm doing a session on data interpretation today for you. So we are looking at a couple of interesting questions from XAT 2018 or 2019 on DI, and the first question is on your screen here, and this is the first question, and interesting question because mainly because of the fact that there was a data missing here in this question. As if you can see this part of the diagram, there's a missing element in others and in engineering. And if you this and this is a official paper released by XLRI, तो ये इसके कारण couple of the questions had become infeasible. Otherwise, you will see that the XLRI, at least this set, is very easy to do. So if I just put that information on my right, that history has 10%, economics has 12%, because that pie chart is not looking very clear, so I'll just put that for your benefit. Chemistry has 14% of the students. Mathematics has 16% students. Physics has 18% students. Others, the data is missing in the pie chart. It's supposed to be 10%, and engineering is supposed to be 20%. And this is the percentage of students by major and location of the physics majors. Where do the physics majors come from? And for that, Delhi is 18. Mumbai, I mean, I think that part I don't need to recreate here because those numbers are clear. Oops. I'll have to do that again. History 10%, economics 12%, 14% of the by major, 14% of the graduates are chemistry, 18%, sorry, 16% are mathematics, 18% are physics, others is 10%, and engineering is 20%, right? So with that data, the first question that comes here, the simple question that comes here is how many students major in chemistry? So this is a very simple thought because of the fact that you are given in the second bar graph here, you can see how many physics majors are majoring. You can see that in the bar graph, and if you do a quick total of that, it's 18 plus 36 54 plus 80 134 plus 40 174 plus 23 197 plus 28 225. So there's a total of 225 physics majors. That corresponds to 18%. And if 18% is 225, 100% will be 225 into 100 upon 18. And that can be seen. This will become 9 and that will become 50. And this will become 25 into 50. So you realize that there are a total of 1250 people in the group or in the university or college that they are talking about, and 1250 people हैं तो उसका chemistry, the question is how many people measure in chemistry. It's 14%. So 14% of 1250 is 10%, 125 plus 12.5 into 4, that's 50. So that makes it 175 here. So the correct answer to this question at least is very simple. It has to be 175. So this is the question answer to question 22. Now let me remind you the importance of data interpretation in DI in the QA/DI section is quite high because of the fact that your objective in the QA/DI section qualifying objective is around 8 to 10 marks. Actually, sometimes the section qualifying happens at 6 7 marks also. But but to be safe, your section qualifying objective will be between 8 to 10 marks in the QA/DI section, and out of that you will get two sets in data interpretation, which if you can get two sets, and the sets are pretty easy to do. So if you see, you have two sets in DI. These two sets, 6 questions, can feasibly be finished in maybe around 15 to 20 minutes. And if you get all six right there, you are almost through with the cutoff. So what then you can do is you can do a very selective solving of the quants. Go for 40 minutes. Whatever questions you're absolutely sure of, you mark them. Suppose out of 21 questions, the last year's pattern was 21 quants and 6 DI. So out of 21 questions in quants, even if you can get a solid 8 to 10 attempts which are solid, half of it you know, so you can get to solid solutions for 10 of them, and maybe a two option solution for 5 of them, तो तुम्हारा score will be hitting 20 overall. Or I mean, I'm assuming that, let's say, six questions you can do by guessing between two options which you think are correct. So solid attempts solid attempts 10, attempt between two options 6, and DI 6. So if you can get there, you are getting 10 correct here, or 9 correct, 9 to 10 correct, 90% accuracy in the solid attempts, 90% accuracy in solid attempts, 50% accuracy where you have marked between two options, 3 correct, 3 wrongs, and DI if you can get everything correct, you are almost hitting a score of 16 17, even with the negatives on the other questions. And that's a great score to have in this exam, because 30, the moment you are above 30, you are in serious qualification zones for XLRA. Many times 30 to 33 is enough to qualify. Sometimes I mean, at all times 35 to 40 as a range is going to be definitely qualifying. And if you can add 12 13 marks in decision making and 16 to 18 marks in quants, you're almost done. And for that, you just need 50% knowledge. You just need to know half the questions, provided you can handle the DI completely. DI में knowledge का कमी है, ज़रूरत नहीं है. You just need to be able to react to what is written in front of you. So this is an important component of this thing. Just to remind you, decision making पे I am taking a special plus course. I'll talk about it after I finish this set. Let me just go through with this set. Second question क्या पूछ रहा है? The proportion of physics majors who are from Delhi. Now we'll need to look at this in the context of what is given to us. Physics majors from Delhi is 18. So the reaction to this statement should be 18 out of 225 is the same as the proportion of engineering majors who are from Delhi. So यहाँ पे you need the value of the engineering percentage. तो यहीं पे without the value of 20% you can't solve this question. But since the total number of students are 1250, this has to be equal to number of engineering students from Delhi divided by 250. These ratios have to be equal. And you can easily see that since there is a 1/9 increase from 225 to 250, there will be 1/9 increase from 18 to 20. So there will be 20 engineering majors from Delhi. and that's what the question is asking. How many engineering majors are from Delhi? The answer will be 20. So very very straight and simple question. Just need to know what they are talking about. And the third question talks about. I'll just erase this now. The third question talks about 12% of all students are from Chennai. 12% of all students are from Chennai. What is the largest possible percentage of economic students that can be from Chennai? Rounded off to the nearest integer. So you have 1250 students. 12% of that are from Chennai. 12% of 1250 is 125 plus 12.5 into 2. That's 25. So 150 students from Chennai. And the question is asking what is the largest possible percentage of economic students that can be from Chennai? What are the largest possible percentage of economic students that can be from Chennai? So economic students from Chennai, first of all we need to look at the economic percentages. The economics percentage is 12%, right? And 150 students from Chennai, the constitution of these 150 students from Chennai is that we know that definitely 40 of them are from physics. So economics will be maximized if the remaining 110 are all from economics. And economics has 12% people, so economics also has 150 students. So the correct answer will be basically 110 out of 150. This is the maximum percentage economics can have from Delhi. And that's 73%. So you can see that when I'm talking about getting 6 marks in 15 minutes, is not a joke. It's quite doable in this thing, especially if you look at this set from the XAT 2019 paper. Of course, in that year, because of that error, this question was not doable, the second and third, so that lost this thing. But this was an interesting set because this is based on a simple logic that you need to understand. And this is a timetable for a transcontinental train that sets across several time zones. But before I show you this set, I will want to talk to you about Unacademy Plus. Unacademy Plus is a wonderful platform that gives you access to great teaching and great teachers, some of the best teachers in India on various platforms and various across various geographies are together on Unacademy Plus to teach you their courses, etc. for CAT 2020 and even for XAT 2019 or XAT 2020, which is next month. So, for example, I'm also there on Unacademy Plus, and my courses starting for XAT 2020. There's a course on decision making, which is a 4-session course on decision making between 24th to 27th December. And for CAT 2020, I'm starting a course, a joint course with Meenakshi Upadhyay ma'am, where we are doing a quants plus an intro to DILR, and quants I'm doing through questions, and that means the question based approach to learning quants. And Meenakshi Upadhyay ma'am will obviously be doing the verbal part in this course. So this is a foundation course where quants I'm taking through questions and accessing logic through questions, and the verbal is being done, verbal and RC is being done by Meenakshi ma'am. So this is starting first week January. So you can have a look at that course also. So all this is available on Unacademy Plus coming up in the next couple of months. In case you do decide to take up a subscription with Unacademy Plus, you can use my promo code. The promo code is Arun M Sharma. The promo code is Arun M Sharma. If you use this promo code, you'll get a 10% discount on the existing fees. So do use that promo code while you register, and you'll get a 10% discount on the existing fees if you use that. Right. So the question coming from Suraj is, how did we get 250 total engineering? That's something that I assume that the question should have given, that there's 20% of the total is engineering. That was missing in the question. Without that, the second and third questions can't be solved. The third question can still be solved because the third question does not require anything to do with engineering. It's talking about economic students from Chennai. So this could be solved, but this question can't be solved without knowing that 20%. And I think they missed that in the print. That happens from time to time in the XAT, even happens in the CAT. So this is an interesting question, and to talk about this question, before I talk about this question, since I've already given you the message of the Unacademy Plus thing and my promo code, so this is an interesting question. Uh, let's assume that you're going from Delhi to, let's say, a city X, which is 3 hours ahead of your timeline. So what will happen? Suppose you take a 10 a.m. flight at Delhi. The time at X at that time is 1 p.m. And let's say the flying time is 4 hours. So when you reach city X, when the flight lands, it will be 2 p.m. in Delhi, but the local time will be 5 p.m. So in this scenario, what's going to happen is that you're going to see you when you left Delhi, the time was 10 a.m. When you reached that place and the local time there is 5 p.m. It seems that you have used 7 hours, where you have actually used only 4 hours because the Delhi time is still 2 p.m. Now, when you come back from that location, let's say you take a 8 a.m. flight from that location. So at that time, Delhi being 3 hours behind, the time will be 5 a.m. Right? And since you take 4 hours, let's assume going and coming takes the same time. By the time of that city, you will be back to Delhi at 12 noon. But the actual time in Delhi at that time will be 9 a.m. So if I don't tell you 3 hours ahead, and I just give you this information that you started at Delhi at 10 a.m. and reached city X at 5 p.m. local time, so your thought is 7 hours it took, and you started at 8 a.m. and you reached at 9 a.m., your thought is 1 hour it took. With this 7 and 1, you should be able to work out the 4 hours travel time and the 3 hours plus going in this direction. In a situation where both the times will be equal, going and coming will be equal, it means that there is no time zone difference. So with that perspective, if you watch what's happening, there are 3-4 journeys here in this. For example, the Zut to Yak journey. Now Zut to Yak journey starts at 6 a.m. When you're going from Zut to Yak, it starts at 6 a.m. reaches 7:45. So going from Zut to Yak takes you 1 hour 45 minutes. On the return journey, you are starting at 10:55 from Yak and reaching Zut at 12:40. So Yak to Zut is also 1 hour 45 minutes, which means Yak and Zut are in the same time zone. But if you go to Yak to Wak, going from Yak to Wak, you're starting at 7:50 a.m., reaching at 2:45 p.m. That means you're taking 6 hours 55 minutes. You're taking 6 hours 55 minutes. And Wak to Yak, on the return journey, you are starting at 11:55 p.m. and you're reaching at 10:50 a.m. That means the next day. So if you look at the time, 11:55 plus 55 minutes makes it 12:50 and 10:50. So that is 10 hours 55 minutes. This means that the actual journey between Yak to Wak will be 8 hours. This is the meaning of this. The actual journey will be 8 hours and there's a time differential of plus minus 2 hours. and YAG is ahead by 2 hours than WAC, because the when you go to a city on the east, the apparent time is larger than the actual time. This is the logic in this question. So once you understand this logic, have you understood this? Look at it in the context of Delhi to let's say Bangkok, or Delhi to Paris. If you go Delhi to Paris, you will reach, if you go at 10 a.m. in the morning, and it's a 10-hour flight, and Paris is 4 hours ahead of Delhi, let's say 4 hours behind Delhi. So you'll reach at 8 p.m. Delhi time, but it'll be 4 p.m. Paris time. So you'll see only 6 hours on the clock. And since this is the local time, so this is basically on the clock. So with this, the first question is already answered. Which of the following pairs of cities are in the same time zone? That's very clear that Zut and Yag are in the same time zone, because the going time and the coming back time is same for both of them. That's the only thing you have to see here. There's nothing else to do in this question, right? Let's look at the second question. What is the total time taken in minutes by the train to go from Zut to Raz? To Zut to Raz, one way, when you're going Zut to Raz, you start at 6 a.m. and if you look through the timeline, you are reaching 16 hours 40 minutes one way. Now this is the apparent time. The actual time will depend on the time zones. If you go back from Raz to Zut, Raz you're starting at 8 a.m. You look through the time, you see 11:55 p.m. happening. That means the night of this day, and next day morning you are reaching at 12:40 p.m. So 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. is 24 hours, and 12:40 is 4 hours 40 minutes. So it's 28 hours 40 minutes. This means this basically means then that the travel time is the average of these two. So travel time is 22 hours 40 minutes. And the time zone difference is that Raz is 6 hours ahead. Zut is 6 hours ahead of Raz. The time will expand, the apparent time will expand whenever you're going towards the east, right? To a time zone which is ahead. And when you're going to a time zone which is behind, the time will contract. So 22 hours 40 minutes is the answer to this question. And this is again a pretty no-brainer kind of question once you work out how time zones work. Right? I mean, there's nothing to be done in this question. It's just about counting the apparent time, the two apparent times. There's no calculation in this. Just the logic of the two apparent times and the average of the two. That's all you have to do here. Right? And what is the time at Yag where it is 12 noon at Sab? So let's have a look at this question. Yag and Zaz, the two positions talked about are Yag and Sab. To Yag to Sab. So if I look at the journey going from Yag to Sab, if I look at the journey going from Yag to Sab, 7:50 a.m. is the departure time from Yag, and 7:40 p.m. is the arrival time at Yag at Sab. So that's 10 minutes short of 12 hours. 10 minutes short of 12 hours. That means 11 hours 50 minutes. On the reverse journey, Sab to Yag. Sab to Yag, you're starting at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. and reaching Yag the next day at 10:50 a.m. So 1 p.m. in the afternoon to 1 a.m., that's 12 hours. And from 1 a.m. to 10:50 a.m. is 9 hours 50 minutes. So it's 21 hours 50 minutes. And you realize that YAG is ahead on the time line, and this means that the time of travel is 16 hours 50 minutes, and it's going to take you, and the time difference is plus 5 hours. YAG is 5 hours ahead. YAG is 5 hours ahead of SAB. YAG is 5 hours ahead of SAB. So YAG being 5 hours ahead of SAB, what is the time at YAG when it is 12 noon at SAB? The only confusion here is it 5 p.m. or 7 a.m.? But since you have YAG is 5 hours ahead of SAB, so at SAB if it's 12 noon, YAG will be 5 p.m. That's the correct answer. So you can see this structure. This is a very simple analytical structure. You just have to understand this, and just to look at it, you just have to make sure that you work out what's the difference between the time zones when you do something like this. And it's best when you see a set like this, it's best to actually first work out in the context of let's say Delhi, or your location, to a city east which is 3 hours ahead or 2 hours ahead. Just do that, and you'll be able to work out the whole scenario. So I'll just repeating this. If let's say a city X is 3 hours ahead of Delhi, right? Let's hypothetically talk about the city X, which is 3 hours ahead of Delhi. So if you take a Delhi flight at 10 a.m. in Delhi, by the X time at X, the time at X I'm writing as 1 p.m. here, and let's say it's a 4-hour flight, you'll reach 2 p.m. Delhi time, which will be actually 5 p.m. local time. So if you look at the local timeline, you are starting at 10, reaching at 5. So the time of travel is 4 hours, and the extra time, because the time zone difference, is 3 hours. So if you're going east, you add the time. So that's what you do in YAG versus WAC, YAG versus SAB. You work out that SAB to YAG is an extended time. SAB to YAG is a longer time than YAG to SAB, and hence the time difference is such that YAG is 5 hours ahead, right? Tismat, I'm not very sure offhand right now. I think it should be pretty much similar. थोड़ा सा social issues पे रह सकता है उसपे Mohit, and maybe a little bit of psychometric testing also. Psychometric testing you don't need to prepare for, you just need to go in with a positive state of mind, and if you see two things, if you're shown a picture or something like that, sometimes you have those variances because in these exams, especially test kind of exams, तो वैसा अगर कुछ होता है या फिर they ask you to write something, some story based on a picture, to write a positive story. So that normally has a better outcome. So if you're seeing let's say a old woman who's suppose they show you a picture of an old woman who's very haggard and seems very frail. So the one story that comes out is that she's powerless and she's defenseless and she needs help from someone. And the other story that comes out is that in spite of her physical weakness, she's still braving the weather and braving life, and coming up with the goods and the outcomes, and being she's an entrepreneur, something like that. Write a positive spin to the story. So those will always be appreciated more than negative stories there, right? So that's one dispensation you should have for all psychometric testing. Maybe it's going to have that. I'm not very sure. So I'll need to check what they are doing in TestMat. But otherwise बाकी सब चीज़ तो सेम ही रहेगा. Reasoning है तो वही रहेगा. They can't change it. They can go to bank PO kind of reasoning maybe a little bit. Quants है तो वही रहेगा. Maybe LOD 1 रहेगा सिर्फ टेस्ट में, उससे नीचे उससे ऊपर नहीं जाएगा. RC है तो वही रहेगा. So it's not going to be this thing. And you need to analyze before you take the exam. You need to analyze, is it a speed game or a solving game? There's a CAT is a solving game. XAT is a solving game. Snap and IFT etc. speed games. So you need to take that call and understand it. So I hope I have answered your question. So thanks a lot. I'll wind up for now. Thank you everyone. Bye bye. I'll stop the streaming now. Bye bye.